Welcome to Does It Divide? Basically, we're going to learn all the divisibility rules, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and see if it divides. Basically, it's super simple for 2 because the rule is that it's even. So if it's an even number, basically meaning that it ends in either a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, that makes it even. For example, let's give a random number. Let's say 32. 32 ends in what number? Ends in 2, which is one of the even numbers. So that means that 32 is divisible by 2. So that works out. So let's try an example, or you could try it out yourself. How about the number 41? Would this be divisible by 2? Let's check. Because 1 is the last digit. Is 1, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8? No. So it means when you divide this by 2, it will not be divisible. So it's pretty easy for 2. Now 3, it gets a little bit more tricky, but it's also pretty easy. Because basically, when you add up digits, so sum of the digits is divisible by 3. What do I mean by that? Let's give an example. So let's just say we have the number 63. Basically, the sum of the digits, in this case, are 6 and 3. So we just add 6 plus 3. That's going to give us 9. And then if we try to divide this by 3, 9 divided by 3 is pretty easy to do. That works out. So it means that the number 63 is divisible by 3. So how about you try this by yourself? Let's just say we have the number 123. Is this divisible by 3? Give it a few seconds, add it up in your head or whatever, and figure it out. Let's try it out. So our digits are 1, 2, and 3. Add them up. 1 plus 2 plus 3. That's going to give us a total of 6. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that works out perfectly fine. So it means that your number 123 is divisible by 3. And that's why 3 is pretty easy. Now 4 is also easy as well. Because for 4, the last 2 digits are divisible by 4. Let's take an example at some numbers. Let's just say we have the number 332. Now, what are your last 2 digits of this number 332? It's going to be 32. So we just take 32 and divide that by 4, and that's going to give us a perfect 8. So therefore, your number 332 is divisible by 4. Now, try this one by yourself. Let's just say you have 346. Is this divisible by 4? Give it a few seconds, try out the rule. Okay, so our last 2 numbers are 46. So we take 46 and divide that by 4. If you plug this into your calculator, this will give you 11.5, which is not a perfect number. So it means that this right here is not divisible by 4. So 346 does not work. Now, let's go on to the next one. Let's try 5. So for 5, this one is actually probably the easiest one because the number ends in 0 or a 5. If it doesn't end in a 0 or 5, it's not divisible by 5. So for example, let's just say we have the number 6005. Would this be divisible by 5? Yes, right? Because our number ends in a 5, so it means that works out. How about the number 342? This would be a no, right? Since the number ends in a 2, not a 0 or a 5, so that one doesn't work. Okay, that one's probably the easiest one. How about 6? 6 is a combination of both. Basically, it has to end in either a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, meaning that the number has to be even. Remember this rule, divisible by 2. And then it also, the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So it means that not only does it have to adhere by the rules of divisible by 2, it also has to work by the rules of 3. So let's try this one out. Let's just say we have 346. Or 246. This one's a nicer number. 246. So is it an even number? That number ends in a 6, so that works out for us. So that checks off one of the boxes. Now, does the sum of the digits divisible by 3? What's 2 plus 4 plus 6? That's going to give us 12. And 12 divided by 3 gives us 4. So that perfectly works out. So it means this number right here does work because it checks both these boxes. Now, let's try this one. Let's just say we have 333. Now, let's check the sum of digits first. So when we have 3 plus 3 plus 3, that's going to give us 9. 9 divided by 3 works out to be 3. So that checks off this box. But does it check off that it's an even number? Our last digit is a 3, which is not a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So it means that it doesn't check this box, meaning that this number, 333, is not divisible by 6. So it has to both be true for both of these, or else it doesn't work. So that's why 246 works and 333 does not. Now 7 is arguably the most tricky one. Basically, you take the last digit and then you multiply that by 2, and then you subtract from the first 2 digits. So let me show you what that means. Let's just say we have a number, right? In our head, we're gonna take 574. Let's see if 574 is divisible by 7. So we take the last digit, which in this case is a 4, and then we multiply 4 by 2. That's gonna give us 8, and then we subtract that number from 574. So 574, or we take the first 2 digits, so 57 minus 8 is going to give us 49. And 49 is divisible by 7, so that perfectly works out. So it means 574 is divisible by 7. Now let's look at another number. So let's just take a random number, 232. We take the last digit, which in this case is a 2, multiply that by 2, which is 4, and then we do 23, our first 2 digits, minus that number 4, which is going to give us 19. And 19 is not divisible by 7, so that means that this 232 does not work out. This one's a little bit tricky, so review this again if you have to, but the idea is that you take the last digit, multiply by 2, subtract from the first 2 digits, and then you see if it's divisible by 7, and that determines whether or not the number itself is divisible by 7. Now, on to 8. 8 is pretty simple as well, because for 8, all it is that it's divisible by 4. That's the idea. So it's divisible by 4, and the last 2 digits have to end up in that. So basically, what you want to do is divisible by 4 and is even. So here's the idea. Let's just take the number 400, and if it's that, divisible by 4, yes, because that checks off the rule where the last 2 digits are divisible by 4. 0, 0 is divisible, therefore 400 works. Let's see, 336. Is that divisible by 4? Because we have 36, that's divisible by 4, because 36 divided by 4 is 9, so that checks off the box as well. Now, 9 is one of the trickiest ones because it's very similar to where number 3. But instead of divisible by 9, sum of digits is divisible by 9. So when you add them up, you want them to be divisible by 9. So let's take a look at this. Let's just say we have the number 361, right? We take this number right here, or 360 actually. And then we take the digits, 3 plus 6 plus 0, that's going to give us 9. And 9 divided by 9 works out, so it means that 360 works out. But let's just say we have 462. Let's see if this is divisible by 9, because we have 4 plus 6 plus 2, which is going to give us a total of 12. And 12 divided by 9 does not work out evenly. So it means that your number 462 is not divisible by 9. You see how all these rules work? If you need to, just review them one more time and give these a try yourself. So let's just say we have the numbers 348, 246, and 355. What numbers can evenly go into this? So try out all these rules on these 3 numbers and comment in the comments below what rules or what numbers work for all 3 of these numbers. Good luck and continue studying.